Hi, welcome back to ECS Coffee. My name is Rebecca and this is the showdown between the Philips Barista Brew and the Breville Barista Express. There's too many buzz. Ba-ba-booey gabagool. All right, so both these machines obviously look quite similar. We know the Breville Barista Express. It's been on the market for many, many years and is a fan favorite. The Philips Barista Brew is new to the market though. And if you haven't watched our review, make sure to check that out. So we'll put the link just up in the top corner for you so you can click on that to watch the full review of this machine. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the, or probably all of the similarities and all of the differences between these two units so that you can kind of decide which one is better for you and suits your needs a little bit more. And then we'll brew on both machines. So we'll be making an Americano and then we'll also do espresso and then steam some milk on each machine to make either a latte or a cappuccino or some form of a milk beverage. All right, so we're gonna first talk about some of the similarities between these two machines. So obviously these are two semi-automatic espresso machines. They will both have integrated grinders with water tanks located on the back. They both come with a tamper and they both have manual frothing wands. The Breville Barista Express is going to have a 54 millimeter portafilter and the tamper is going to sit just over on the top here. It's just up there with a magnet. The bean hopper capacity is going to be just around 200 to 220 grams, and the water tank is just under 2 liters at 1.9 liters. You have the hot water spout just located on the side here beside the group head, and then you have your manual frothing wand here. This machine, the Barista Express, will have a thermoblock heating system, which means that it heats up very quickly, but you cannot brew and steam simultaneously. So you perform one function and then you perform the other. On the front of the Barista Express, we have a few controls and buttons. We're going to start over at the side here. So this is our grinder adjustment. You have 16 precise grind settings for the integrated conical burr grinder. On the front, we're going to have our power button, our dosing function to increase or decrease the amount of coffee being ground into your portafilter. You have your filter size, so that is how you will toggle between your single and your double. You have a pressure gauge, so that is going to help you to monitor the espresso throughout the extraction. So if your needle is not rising up or it's rising up too high, you'll be able to better diagnose what's happening in the espresso and make those changes as to whether or not it's under extracted or over extracted. And then we also have our programming button. So this is how you will enter into programming mode to adjust temperature, adjust volume, and a few other settings in there as well. And then you have your single and your double shot buttons on this side. Over here on the right-hand side of the machine, we do have a hot water function and we have our frothing function. So you turn the dial to the back and it's going to give you hot water out of the hot water spout here. You turn the dial to the front and it'll give you froth, or it won't give you froth, it'll give you steam out of the steaming wand here. So you kind of have, it's very, very easy. You do need to do a little bit of the work with this machine. This is where you will insert your portafilter to be ground and it will grind out whatever you have it set to on your grind size and then as the dose as well. So the dose is just as like high or low. It's not correlated to like grams or anything like that. You can single dose on this machine if you want to. You just pre-measure beforehand, throw it into the hopper and go from there. Okay, the volume of the espresso is also programmable, so you can increase or decrease the volume that's coming out. So if you want more or less than 2 ounces for your double shot, things like that, you can adjust those, okay? So on the Barista Brew from Philips, you have see, I like this. You have a 58 millimeter portafilter. So the thought behind having a 58 millimeter portafilter is you have better distribution of the grinds horizontally throughout the portafilter as opposed to it being very deep. You also get, and this is also very nice, a calibrated stainless steel tamper, obviously 58 since you have a 58 millimeter portafilter. So it's got a nice weight to it. It will make sure that you're applying the right amount of pressure as well as your tamping is level. I will note that both of these portafilters as well lay flat on the counter to make tamping a little bit easier. And they do both come with dosing funnels now. So the Breville Barista Express used to not come with one, it does now. The Philips one does as well. The Philips is going to have a 250-gram bean hopper up top with a 2.3-liter water tank on the back. It also comes, both of these machines come with 4 different baskets. So a single shot and a double shot of the single wall or unpressurized regular baskets, and then a single and double of the pressurized or dual wall baskets to help increase the pressure in the shot if you're using pre-ground or if you're having trouble dialing in the shot of espresso as well. So let's have a look at all of the controls that are on the front of the Philips Barista Brew here. You are going to have up top, this is where you adjust your grinder. So unlike the Barista Express where the dial is on the side, you're actually adjusting with the hopper, and you have 15 grind settings. I do find that I'm a little low on the Philips here, so we're quite low on the grind settings, but that's okay. That is why you have 15 total. On the front, you're going to have your power button. You're going to have your single or double shot dosing function, so dosing for single or dosing for double. So I'm just going to power this one on as well. This machine will also have a thermoblock heating system, so heats up very quickly, cannot brew and steam at the same time. So same. Our dose function, you press and hold to toggle between whether you're doing a single or a double. Next to that, we're going to have our dosing control to increase or decrease the amount of coffee being ground. So if you grind too much, you'll need to adjust. If you grind too little, you'll need to adjust. Those things are very standard throughout all espresso machines. We have a pressure gauge on this machine as well to monitor the espresso, so same as the Barista Express. You'll be able to it'll help you to diagnose what's happening in the espresso. I've mentioned it before and I'll mention it again, but watching the espresso is always better than just watching the pressure gauge. We have our single shot, double shot, and then we have pre-programmed Americano. So on the Philips Barista Brew, if you're an Americano drinker like myself, it's a one-touch Americano as opposed to the 2-step process on the Barista Express, and you'll see that when we do brew on both of these machines. Next, we have our steam and our hot water. So we do have a hot water spout on the Philips. However, it's only utilized in the Americano function. If you want just hot water, it comes out of the frothing wand. So you can't, it's a little, I'm not sure why they did that. I find that a little strange. Since you do have a hot water spout, why do you need a hot water spout from the steam wand as well? Why not just make it just frothing? It's kind of odd. Yeah, but you will get hot water from the frothing wand if you wanted hot water for tea or anything else, and then you will also be frothing from your steam wand too. So both machines, you can't brew and steam at the same time. Both machines come with all of the accessories that you need to get yourself going, so a frothing pitcher and all of that good stuff. But some of the differences and some of the, it's little things that are different with these machines. So let's kind of talk about some of those main big differences and why that they might impact you at home. The first one is going to be the quality of the grinder. The Breville grinders are really good. I've always been very satisfied with the quality of the grinder. I find that they don't produce a lot of static either. No grinder is quiet, but they are relatively quiet and well insulated. I find that they're relatively easy to dial in, and you can make adjustments on the burrs as well as on the outside of the machine. So as your burrs wear down, you can adjust your grind sizes to be all finer or all coarser depending on what your needs are. So I do really enjoy that. I like that function. The grinder is kind of the most important thing about the machine. If you have a crappy grinder, you're not going to have good espresso. That's just how it is. The Barista Express is very compact, and it comes with all of the tools you need to dose your espresso. So it now comes with the dosing funnel. You do get what's called the razor to trim off excess coffee as well, which is really nice because you don't want to waste that shot if you have dosed out too much, right? So that's really great. The Barista Express will come with a 1-year warranty as well, and we'll just throw the dimensions up here for you too, so you can have a look, make sure it fits on the countertop. On the Barista Brew, and then on the Breville we have this tamper, like I mentioned, it's up here with a magnet. you'll want to replace it. I mean, like, it gets the job done. It's okay. It's not terrible. It's also not fantastic. Like, it's just, it is what it is. I like that it sits up there with a magnet though, that makes like keeping things stored very easy. And for the rest of your accessories on the Breville, you do have a storage container behind the drip tray underneath the machine. So you don't have to find like little places to hide to put all of your little accessories that come with the machine. So on the Philips Barista Brew, we have a conical burr grinder, but it's quite staticky. And you'll see that when we're grinding our coffee, that it does produce quite a bit of static, and I did find it a little bit loud. I do find as well that some of the little pieces on the Barista Express feel a little bit higher quality. So like the portafilter holder here, the knob on the side for the frothing wand, the dial on the side for the grinder, all of those things feel just a little bit higher quality than they do on the Philips. So on the Philips it's very squishy here. So the plastic, it feels a little cheap. And then our dosing funnel as well, the plastic feels a little bit cheap too. And like I mentioned, it's very staticky when it's grinding, so the dosing funnel's not doing a ton. You still end up with grinds kind of everywhere. But that being said, the tamper on the Philips is one of the best tampers I've seen come with a machine that is like this. So it's stainless steel, it's got a good weight to it, it's calibrated. You don't get that with a semi-automatic espresso machine. It sits up there, it has a little home. The Barista Brew will not have any extra home for your extra baskets and other accessories and cleaning tools. So you will have to find a little spot in the kitchen or wherever you're keeping your coffee maker or espresso machine to kind of house those extra baskets and everything like that. Cleaning cycles on these machines as well, a little bit different. On the Barista Express, you will need to run a descaling cycle through the machine, and you will also need to perform a cleaning and or back flushing cycle. So it's same, cleaning cycle, back flushing cycle, you're cleaning out the group head of the coffee maker with a detergent, with an actual cleaning product. So the machine will come with it, but you can also purchase it afterwards. On the Philips, you won't do a back flushing cycle. You will only do the descaling cycle. That usually happens for one reason, and it means that there's not a three-way solenoid valve. So that will help to soak up the excess water. I did find that I got soupy pucks a little bit on the Barista Brew, which I find I don't get on the Barista Express, unless it's just my poor dosing or my poor, puck prep, right? Which can happen. But I did find, this one you won't need to run the back flushing or cleaning cycle on the machine, just descaling. So we do have a little bit of a pricing difference as well, and warranty difference too. So I did mention that the Barista Express is going to be 1 year through Breville. The Philips is 2 years through Philips. So you have an extra year there of warranty, which is always great. And the price is different. The Barista Express is at just around $1,000 Canadian, and the Barista Brew from Philips is $850. So that is a pretty big pricing difference, and that comes down to materials used as well as a little bit of the brand. So Breville has been around and doing semi-automatics like this for a long time, and they do a really, really good job. There is a reason that this is one of the most popular home espresso machines. It has been, and it will be it is for a reason, right? It makes good coffee and it's relatively easy to use. So we're gonna do that now. We're going to make some coffee on these machines. Oh, and here are the specs of the Philips as well, so that you can see specs of both machines here so that you can compare them. There is some slight size differences, but nothing too drastic, okay? But now let's brew. So we're gonna brew, like I mentioned, we're going to do Americano, 2-step process on the Express, 2-step process on the, what is this, what do I call it? Just the brew, the Express and the brew. And a 1-step process on the brew, on the Barista Brew from Philips. So let's get cracking. So we'll start over with we'll start on the Philips. So I'm going to take my portafilter. I'm going to put my dosing funnel on top of the portafilter, lock it in place, and then place this just over here into the filter holder. Now I'm going to click dose. And just make sure it's on 2 times. It is, so click dose. Okay. So you can hear a little loud. and you can see static, okay? So I'm using the same beans in both machines as well, so you will be able to see a big difference there. So see how much static is and how many grinds are all over our countertop now. Static is not the end of the world, but it is annoying, okay? So this is done, I'm gonna pull my portafilter out. Yeah, look at that, look at that. That is a lot of static. It's a lot of static in there. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna move all of this into the center here. And so both machines are dialed in, but you know these things can change on a dime, so let's hope that it stays. Oh. And this is a level portafilter as well, so it lays flat. We do have a little bit too much now, so looks like the dosing has changed slightly, but yeah. All right, I'm going to just turn this a little bit down and then we're going to redose. All tamped, ready to go. I'm just gonna throw my portafilter up into the group head here. So start at the left and pull it to the right. There we go. All right, so for the Breville, we've got our dosing funnel, so we're just gonna lock that in place. So if you do have a Breville from previous years, you did not get the dosing funnel, I was one of those people. But you can purchase it extra now if you want to. All right, so I'm just gonna throw my portafilter up into here, and then I am just going to tap it to be able to start grinding. So on the Barista Brew, you click a button. On the Barista Express, you click it in. There we go. It sounds quieter, but I'm unsure. Not any static though. Look at that, not a single grind, no grinds. Well, maybe like one. That's it though. And then this is a little bit of a mess over here. Okay, so take this out, fantastic. All right. Okay. And my tamper. So this tamper is obviously not as good. And this is dosed out too much as well. What is going on here? All right, but that's okay. Breville does give you what's called the razor, so we are going to use that tool just to trim off a little bit of the excess. All right, so we just have our razor down below beneath the drip tray, which is where we keep some of the extra accessories. So the razor is very beneficial. It will trim off the excess coffee on top. So I like to sit my portafilter just kind of above my knock box. I take the razor and I place it on top here, and then I tilt my portafilter sideways a little bit and just scrape off the excess. Okay, so this is maybe a little bit of an espresso faux pas. However, for the purposes of our video, this is perfectly fine. At home, I would personally typically pull a new shot and adjust my dose. But for you at home, especially when you're starting out and you don't want to waste the espresso, this is perfectly fine. So now we've got a well dosed out espresso. It's tamped as well. If you wanted to polish it, you can take your tamper, place it on top, and then just kind of spin it around without applying any more pressure, okay? It's very nice, polished, clean. It's awesome. So I'm going to put this one up into the group head as well, starting at the left, pulling towards the right. There we go. All right, so I did feel kind of like the Barista Express had a tighter seal around the portafilter, getting it up into the group head there, than the Barista Brew. That's neither a positive nor a negative, it's just an observation. So I'm gonna throw my cups underneath my portafilters on each machine, and then we're going to brew a double shot espresso. So put one under here. Look at all these grinds. This is wild to me, actually. Okay, all right, and two. All right, so we're going to brew on the Barista Brew first. So we're going to do Americano. I'm going to click my Americano button. It's a one-step process, so that's it, just one step. Do you find with the Barista Brew too, you really have to press the button? Like you have to give it a really hard press? The Express I find not so much. So we're going to watch the espresso pour, watch the needle rise. go. Really, really nice. There we go. And a little bit of hot water. Okay, so we're going to brew on the Barista Express now. So we're going to do Americano, but it's going to be a two-step process. So we're going to click our double shot espresso, and it's going to start to pour. Have our Americano from our Barista Brew, I'll just leave it up top there. And the Barista Express is coming out. There we go. Great, and then we'll just move the mug over a little bit, turn the dial towards the back, and it's going to dispense some hot water. So this hot water spout will dispense about 8 ounces and then it'll shut off. This cup though, I know will not hold that volume, so I am just gonna turn it off once I reach kind of where I want to be. And there we go, there we go. Okay, that's 2 Americanos. It's hot, oh. Ooh, That's a pretty big temperature difference. The Philips is quite a bit hotter than the Barista Express. Actually, I cannot pick up this glass here. Yes, I can, it's okay. So it's the same bean, extracted similarly. It tastes like an Americano. No, temperature is the same. Temperature is the same. The Express did produce a little bit of a nicer crema, but that's okay. You can obviously get there with the Barista Brew as well, just by maybe, you can change the beans, decrease grind size. There's a few things that you can do to increase the crema, but the shot off of the Express is a little bit nicer. But again, that just is dialing in, right? So different settings, different machines, but both really fantastic. The process for brewing Americano on the Barista Express is not difficult, but it's not a one-touch system. So if you wanted to throw your portafilter up and then press Americano and kind of, I guess, walk away, you can do that on the Philips, but you can't do that on the Breville. You do have a little bit more control over the volume on the fly with the Breville, since you can control how much hot water is coming in and coming out, or coming out of the hot water spout. With the Philips, you program it one way. You can override those settings, but then it won't be necessarily a one-touch kind of system, right? But yeah, that's how you brew Americano on each machine. It's going to produce like a very, very similar result of beverage, so no complaints there. Both produced a really great drink, like both produced a good Americano. All right, we are going to now froth some milk. So we will pull another shot and then we'll froth some milk, showcasing how the steaming wands work in comparison to each other. I've used both of these steam wands before, so I do know what to kind of expect. So we will be right back. All right, so we brewed our espresso and we also cleaned up a little bit of the static. So now I'm going to froth some milk. We're going to steam first on the Philips Barista Brew, and then we will froth our milk on the Breville Barista Express. All right, so I am going to hop around and start steaming. I'm just turning my steam wand on to start activating it, and then you can see the light is flashing. The pump's going to start to kick on, and then we'll turn the steam wand off and we'll situate ourselves so that we're ready to go. There we go. Okay. All right, so I do like this frothing wand. I was under the impression, and it feels like it's possibly insulated, because as you can see, I'm frothing and placing my finger on the steam wand. You can also see here our jug does indicate, it has some temperature indicators on it too. Yes, there we go. I'm just trying to get a little bit of a vortex going here. Feels like it's a little bit difficult. Definitely have to really manipulate the milk on this one. It's a good steam wand though. Steam wand is still a little cool to the touch. So you hear that noise? That's typically an indication that the steam wand doesn't have a ton of pressure. We have aerated our milk, so I know that it's not that. I'm going to shut my wand off now and pull the jug out. So you can see the milk it's pretty good. We've got some microfoam going. I do like the steam wand, though I don't find it overly powerful, I will say. And it's not overly mobile either, which I honestly don't really mind that much. All right, and so we did hit the 65. It does look like the 70 is lit up, but it's just on camera, it's not actually lit up. So this is it's an easy way to make sure that your milk is steamed to the right temperature. I use the pinky method, but you know, you do you at home. All right, so we will combine these two together. I'm going to add my froth milk into my espresso shot. That is a little bit lacking some crema now because it was sitting for a minute. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Let me see here. It tastes like milk and espresso. It's good. Yeah, overall, great. Like, easy to steam with, easy to pull a shot with, no complaints there. Like I mentioned, the steam wand, it feels like it's insulated. It doesn't say that it is, so do use caution and care when you are frothing on that machine. I'm just gonna give the steam wand a quick wipe down, and then we'll froth on the Barista Express. I'm just gonna turn the steam wand on as well to get it going. So we have the indicator light flashing. Both of these machines will tell you when something is heating up. They'll also tell you when you need to do some sort of cleaning cycle. So like I mentioned on the Philips, you just need to descale. On the Barista Express, you'll need to have, you have two different cleaning functions that you need to do. All right. So I'm not sure if it's because I'm used to frothing on the Barista Express, just because it's been out for a little bit longer. I think, prefer the wand slightly, partially because of how mobile it is. I do feel like the pressure is maybe a little more consistent as well, a little more powerful too. The Philips is pretty powerful, but not, it's a little more difficult to get a vortex going. See how quickly I can get it going on the Express. And again, that may just come from knowing this machine well. All right, our milk is just about done. I do feel like this heated up a little bit faster. Maybe we can put the times up for you though. Okay, turn that off. So relatively the same temperature as well, just based on my feel. Now, I know for sure that the Barista Express does not have an insulated steaming wand, because this milk is going to get caked onto the steam wand. I'm gonna wipe it off in a second. All right, time to add. Yeah, this is nicer milk. Yeah, that is nicer milk. Again, I'm used to frothing on this machine, more familiar with how its steam wand works and how to manipulate it a little bit more. So that could just be me, but I did like it a little bit more powerful. Yeah, that is really good. sweeter, a little bit sweeter on this one than on the Barista Brew from Philips. Let me just try that one again, 1 second. Ooh, whoops. No, it tastes the same. It tastes the same. It tastes like hot steamed milk with espresso, so it tastes very, very good. Okay guys, so similarities. Both of these machines are semi-automatic. Both of them come with a portafilter, milk pitcher, tamper, dosing funnel, integrated grinder. They have around the same grind settings and they perform the same functions. But the differences. With the Barista Express, you're getting a 54mm portafilter, a kind of okay tamper, and you have a two-step process for doing your Americano, brewing your espresso and then steaming your milk. We did find that the grinder was way less staticky on the Barista Express and slightly better. Also found that the frothing wand was a little more powerful as well, and some of the little pieces feel just slightly more high quality. The price point comes in at around $1,000 Canadian, and you do have a 1-year warranty through Breville. With the Barista Brew, you have a 58mm portafilter. You have a 58mm calibrated tamper, which is amazing. I love that so much. However, grinder was a little bit louder and it was definitely more staticky. The shot poured beautifully though, so no complaints there, but it did have a little bit more mess. One touch Americano, so easier for you Americano drinkers like myself at home. And the steam wand was great, feels insulated, and was powerful enough to create some microfoam. Not as powerful as the Barista Express, but still really, really good. The difference is going to be like 5%, very small. The price point of the Philips Barista Brew is also lower, so you're coming in at around $850 Canadian, and you have a 2-year warranty through Philips, so a little bit of a longer warranty as well. We know that the Barista Express performs well because it's been on the market for very, very long. The Barista Brew has only been out for a very, very short period of time, a few weeks or so. So we don't know how it's going to perform in the long run, right? That's a gamble that you might have to take at home yourself. The Barista Brew has a slightly larger water tank than the Barista Express as well, so you may have to fill it a little bit less, but the difference is almost insignificant. The main differences you're looking at here is going to be grinder quality, static, portafilter size, and warranty, as well as price. So you decide what is better for you. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you liked our video, make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you like our content and want to stay up to date with us. All of these products here will be listed in the shop section down below, so you can click there just to shop the products that you like, and we will see you next time. Cheers.